Hey guys, it's been a while. It's Julia. Welcome back to my channel, and I am so excited to see you guys again. It's funny saying that in this video because this video is coming out first. I actually just finished filming a vlog that's going to be coming out next week, so stay tuned for that. I am back on my grind, okay? I have been doing great. If you're wondering about me and where I have been trying to work on taking care of my body and myself better. I've been exercising, eating better, and just taking more time for things that make me happy. But nothing makes me happier than making these videos and reading. So I've been kind of finding a way to piece my schedule back together to include you guys and to include lots of reading. So here I am, I'm back. I hope you guys didn't miss me too much. And I thought, since I've been gone for so long, let me give you guys a wrap up of every single book I have read so far this year. Okay, so I have my first stack of books to go through with you guys. I read so much in January, so much. I was really feeling proud of myself. I read an okay amount in February, and then I totally fell off during March. 6 of these books that I'm going to be talking to you about, well, most of them are actually short stories, but 6 of the books on my Goodreads so far for this year were audiobooked and listened to. So when we get to that point, I will talk to you guys about that. But obviously for those books, I don't have a physical copy. So yeah, let's start with how I started my year. I'm going to try and get through this semi-quick because, number one, who wants to sit and watch somebody talk about random books that they haven't read for 45 minutes? I do, but I know not all of you guys are readers, so, you know, I'm gonna make it quick, give you guys quick thoughts, quick ratings, etc. So, it's editing Julia, and she's a liar, because why do I have 50 minutes of footage to edit then? If you're gonna go quick, why do I have 50 minutes of footage to edit? So, let's get right into it. Okay, the first book that I read for this year, I actually started it last year, but I finished it this year in January, and that is Apprentice to the Villain by Hannah Nicole Meyer. I am so excited. When I finished this book, I automatically pre-ordered the next book in the series. I am just obsessed with this series. It's the perfect, funny, cozy fantasy that just kind of like brought me through the beginning of the winter. I was getting a little after Christmas, after New Year's depression, and this book pulled me right out of it. I love her style of writing. I love the banter. I love our FMC. I love our MMC. Every character in this book is hilarious and also so like heartwarming, and I am so excited to see what happens next. I gave this one 4 stars. So, you know, it's not the highest rating. I am a heavy-handed rater. It is not the highest rating ever, but I definitely just love this series so much. It's such a good series. So yeah, I gave this one 4 stars. It was a great way to start the year. I continued January with a thriller, and that was Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. Ever since I read this book, I literally cannot stop thinking about it. I think it was mainly the setting that had me latch onto it so much. It takes place in an apartment building in New York City that is loosely based off of the Dakota, called the Bartholomew in the book, and it is just so interesting. I love the Dakota. I've walked past it so many times. It's just like such beautiful architecture, and every time I walk past it, I wonder like what kind of people live there. I wonder what they're doing right now. Like, I wonder what the rich philanthropists of New York are up to this morning. And this is a thrilling, scary take on possibly what they are up to in there. And it was such a thrilling read. I gave it 4.75 stars. Honestly, at this point, I think I would change my rating to a 5-star. I just absolutely adored this book. I love Riley Sager. I love his writing. The way that he writes female main characters is just amazing. A lot of male authors have trouble writing FMCs, female main characters, and Riley Sager is just not one of those authors. He does it effortlessly and beautifully, and this thriller was so thrilling, and I honestly already just holding it want to reread it. It's also pink, which does a lot for me. Aesthetically, holding a pink book for the days that I read this was just honestly amazing. So yes, I gave this one 4.75 stars. So after I read Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, I picked up Killjoy by Holly Jackson. This is a prequel novella to the Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, and I love that trilogy so much. I saw this at a Barnes right after I finished Lock Every Door, and I was like, it would be so fun to just revisit this world and these characters, and I just love them all so much. They're very funny and cute despite the nature of these novels, but this novella was just a really quick read. I think I literally read it in a night. It was just fun to visit the characters again, and it really made me so happy. So this was definitely a fun one if you like Good Girl's Guide to Murder and you finish the trilogy and just want to take a little peek back with those characters. This is definitely a fun one. I gave it 3.5 stars, which is pretty good for a novella, pretty good for a short story. I think I gave it such a high rating because I just missed these kids so much. It was so fun, honestly. Then after that and Lock Every Door, I was craving immediately another thriller, so I picked up my first Frida McFadden book. This is The Boyfriend. This is her newest release, I believe. And I just loved this Barnes exclusive copy with the little like blood spatter, the way that it looks. I just feel like it looks so cool. I also just love like the thickness of this book, everything about it. It's a pretty like sturdy paperback, and I really enjoy like the shape of it. I feel like it's smaller than a lot of paperbacks. I just love how Barnes has been doing this thing too, where the letters are like, what is that called? The letters are like out and shiny. It's just fun for me. I don't know. This book was insane. Every twist and turn had me shook. This was an excellent first introduction to Frida McFadden and her writing. I will definitely be picking up more of her books, and I actually do pick up more of her books later in this list, but this was just incredible. Such a great introduction to the author, and I loved these characters. Every twist and turn had me shocked. It wasn't as much of a gut-wrenching, thrilling hit as Lock Every Door, but I absolutely adored this one, and I gave it 4 stars, I think. Yes, I gave this one 4 stars. Then, after so many thrillers, I thought I should probably pick up a different genre, and that genre, of course, was romance. This is when I picked up Ashley Poston's A Novel Love Story. First of all, this cover, let's have a moment for this cover. It's just such a gorgeous color. It looks amazing next to my copy of 7 Year Slip. I'm obsessed with Ashley Poston. She might be one of my favorite authors ever, up there with Emily Henry. I love her books, just especially her romance books, everything about it, the magical realism. This book got very mixed reviews from the book community in general. I absolutely adored it. It was one of my favorite reads of January, and it definitely was just so sweet. It really transported me into this like storybook town, and it was just really calming. I think I had had a really stressful week when I picked this up, and picking this up just like literally melted all the stress away. I felt like I could dive into the world of this storybook and just enjoy the romance and enjoy the characters and enjoy the mystery that surrounded it. And it was just absolutely amazing. So I loved this book. I gave it 4.5 stars, which is a super high rating from what I've seen. Its average rating is 3.64, which actually isn't that low. But I do know that this got very mixed ratings, especially coming after 7 Year Slip, a amazing book that everyone's absolutely obsessed with. This one definitely didn't like it as much as 7 Year Slip, but I do find myself thinking about this town and these characters all the time. And so I gave it a 4.5. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely love Ashley Poston. It was incredible. I just realized Emily Henry and Ashley Poston are both part of Berkeley, like publishing authors, whatever. All of their books are both published by Berkeley, and they just really know how to pick them. They know how to pick them. They know what the girls want. Like, they know. They slay. Wow. I'm looking at the books that we have coming up, and I'm just like, damn, this was a really, really good month for reading. Like, January really slayed for reading. The next book I picked up was an absolute 5-star read for me. It's a book I still think about constantly. It's only been a couple months, but I really do think about it constantly. And I do know that it's being made into a movie, I'm pretty sure. So I literally cannot wait for that. And that is The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. This book is everything to me. It is so emotional, so beautiful. It has the Hollywood glamour. It's kind of a historical fiction, and it's romantic, it's beautiful, it's incredible. It shows relationships, friendships, everything. And I am going to say something that is a spoiler, so give me like 20 seconds starting now. But as a queer woman, this was just such a cool story to read. That's all I have to say about it. I don't want to spoil too much, but if you haven't read it, you should go read it. If you stayed for the spoiler, you should go read it. But as a queer person, this was a really, really cool read. Taylor Jenkins Reid, this was my first book that I read by her, and I'm so excited to pick up more of their books, and I'm so excited to just read more from them. Then we moved on to my January book of the month towards the end of the month, and that was A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall. I had never heard of this author. This may have been a debut, but I'm actually not sure. This thriller was so fast-paced. I love the setting. I think a big thing that I am obsessed with in thrillers or even in romance books, like the setting of like a cabin in the woods, winter, fall, honestly any season, just like a cabin in the woods, but specifically a rich cabin in the woods. Like I'm talking a cabin-esque mansion in the woods. That setting is everything to me. It's the same with God of the Woods and Self-Reliance. Their estate in that book reminded me a lot of the cabin in this book. And I just find like a thriller that centers around like a super upper class family in the woods, in the vicinity of woods. It's really a subgenre that I love, like that setting and the rich family dynamic in a thriller is just so interesting to me. So I was absolutely obsessed with this. This was an excellent surprise. I'll definitely have to look out for any backlog from Kate Alice Marshall and any future titles that come out because this was so good. I gave it 4.5 stars. I think I literally read this book in a day, if I'm not mistaken. Let me check. Yes, I literally did read this book in a day, and I gave it 4.5 stars. It was incredible. If you want a quick little thriller with some family drama and some rich people and a cabin in the snowy woods, this is the one for you, okay? And as with any books I recommend, honestly, if you have very specific trigger warnings that upset you in books or things you don't want to read about right now, especially with the thrillers, I would highly recommend you look up individual trigger warnings for any books that you are getting from me, just because with thrillers, I read them so fast that I kind of forget sometimes that some of the subject matter in them is a little bit hard to swallow and a little bit hard to digest. So I would definitely just recommend, for any books that I recommend to you, just checking out the trigger warnings online if that's something that's important to you before reading. Taking a water break. Okay, so then I continued with the wave of reading thrillers, which I do a lot of in general, but especially the beginning of this year in the winter. The winter is the perfect time for me to read a thriller. Also read a fantasy. Just romance is like for spring, you know? Romance is for spring, for summer, but thrillers are for fall and winter, okay? It is the time for it. So I found out through secret sources that this book is currently being shot and made into a movie, and I cannot wait to watch it. So I picked this up right when I found out that this was being made into a movie, especially after reading The Boyfriend. I picked up The Housemaid by Frida McFadden. I feel like this was her like claim to fame title, and I can totally see why. Super fast-paced, loved just the craziness of it. I was not ready for such like shock value to happen. I enjoyed reading it so much. It was so thrilling to me. It was just a really fun book. I definitely liked The Boyfriend better. It could just be a setting thing and like a character relatability thing because The Boyfriend is set in New York City. This is set, I think, just outside of the city, possibly. I don't remember. In my head, it's like a Connecticut kind of vibe. I don't remember exactly where it's set, but it is set in like a family home. And our main character is the housemaid / nanny for this rich couple and their daughter. and it gets really crazy really fast. This one is insane. I'm so excited to watch the movie. I did only give this 3.5 stars just because out of all the thrillers that I've read, you know, the stakes have been set high, and I liked The Boyfriend, her other book, much better than this one, but I definitely would be down to read the sequels to this. I know there's 2 other books in this trilogy, I think, so I definitely do want to pick those up at some point. But yeah, I wasn't like so obsessed with it. I know I just like raved about it. It was a good book, and I totally understand like the hype is well deserved. But I have just read some thrillers that have like taken me there so much more than this did. My bookshelves are getting so full that like half of my TBR cart, not half of it, but like a good amount of the books on there I have read. Not the ones standing up I have not read, but there's a lot laying down here and up here that I have read. And I just literally don't have any space on my shelf right now. So I need to find more space for my books. Okay, the next book I read continuing on my thriller mystery wave was The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I have been so excited to read this book because it's pink and it's set in Paris and it's a thriller, and that just sounds like 3 things that would make a book amazing to me. Unfortunately, I was very, very wrong. I don't know if it's the pacing of this book or what. It felt so slow paced, and I just did not care about the characters. I think reading this, you kind of had to care about the characters to like super enjoy it in the way that the author intended, but I just could not find it in myself to care about the characters. It was just absolutely not what I was expecting from it. It was not as thrilling as I thought, and in the end, I mean, the ending is cool. It's worth a read, I guess, but I just really, really was disappointed by it. I ended up only giving it 2.5 stars, which is a really, really low rating for me, especially with thrillers. I tend to rate thrillers higher just because I feel so entertained by them, and I just did not at all feel entertained by this book. I think Lucy Foley is a great writer. I think the substance of the book is there. I could not grasp it for some reason, and I didn't like it very much, so I'm sorry, girl. So reading The Paris Apartment kind of took me off of my thriller wave, and I decided to break my own heart instead if I was going to continue reading. And so I picked up Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. I've heard so many good things about this book, and every single one of them are true. Even thinking about it, like thinking about what happens in this book is literally already making me emotional. I play video games. I'm not a huge gamer, but I do play quite a good amount of video games, and the video games do not matter in this. If you're waiting to, like, if you're like, I don't want to read that because of the whole gaming thing, you need to get over it and read it because it's so gut-wrenching and beautiful and just like shows such beautiful aspects of friendship and relationships. And yeah, I just wasn't expecting it to hit me so hard. I loved our MMC. I loved that FMC. I loved every character in this book, honestly. It was just a beautiful story, and it's set over a very long time. All I can say is that it was really amazing and moving. Like, I can't go into everything, it's too complicated, but if you want something that's gonna move you and make you feel kind of emotional, but also like see the beauty in relationships and friendships, this is definitely the book for you. I gave it 4.5 stars. It's amazing. I didn't get that 5-star feeling from it. I think that when I think about it, I still get like a pit in my stomach, and it is such a beautiful story. I can't really put my finger on why it's not a 5-star, but it is not. It's closer to like a 4.5, maybe a 4.75 for me, which I have been rating 4.5s and 4.75s a lot recently, because if I don't get that 5-star feeling, I'm not going to tell you it's a 5-star. Even if there's no reason that I'm not getting it. Even if I love absolutely everything about the book, if I'm not getting the vibe is not there, it's not a 5-star. But it is a 4.5, and I know so many people who say this is their top #1 favorite book, say it's a 5-star read. It's won multiple awards. New York Times bestseller. It's the New York Times Notable Book of the Year, and it also was picked for Jimmy Fallon's book club. So people love this book, and you should love it too. That's my review on that. Remember when I said I wasn't going to talk about books for 45 minutes? I may have lied because I've been sitting here for 50 minutes at least. But here we go. The next book that I read was Leather and Lark. I got this copy from Book of the Month because my copy of Butcher and Blackbird was actually my first book of the month, and I really, really like to keep authors' books together, and I like them to be the same size. So I wanted to put this on my Book of the Month shelf. I'm going to get the third book in this trilogy also in the Book of the Month style hardcover, just so everything can look nice next to each other. This series is so fun. It's just so fun to read. It's insane. It's thrilling. If you don't know, this is a serial killer romance series about serial killers that fall in love with each other. But they're kind of good people and you're rooting for them the whole time. Our first couple in that first book are two serial killers that both kill other serial killers. So, you know, there's an air of like, okay, they're not awful people. It's a crazy, 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 crazy plot and a crazy, crazy idea for a book, but it's incredible. The banter is insane. They are extremely spicy. So if you don't like that, I would not recommend these books. If you are not into reading spicy romance, I would not recommend it. But these are super spicy, super hilarious. The banter between the characters in this trilogy is always just like, it just hits the spot. If you need like a goofy, spicy romance, that, and you also love like thrillers and true crime and stuff like that, this is the perfect series for you. So I recommend this one and the previous book in the series, of course. I gave this one 3.5 stars. Like I said, they're not the best books ever, but they're so entertaining, and I'm going to read the next one, and I literally can't wait. I think it's already out on Book of the Month, but I'm gonna wait a little while just because, like, girl, read all the books that you already purchased and stop purchasing more. I need to do that, so yeah. Anyways, 3.5. Fun read for sure. Then, right after Leather and Lark, a book that came in the same box as it, my February book of the month, First Time Caller. Can we talk about this cover? Like, can we just talk about this cover? It's so adorable. Look at our main characters. Come on. They look so cute and cool. Look at how cute and cool they are. I love this book. It was such a great romance. It's kind of like a Sleepless in Seattle vibe. I loved the FMC, loved the MMC. I really liked the FMC in this book because her job, she's actually a mechanic, which is really cool. It's kind of, you know, breaking the stereotype, and I just thought that was cool to read about how she's, you know, got all her bros at the shop and they work on the cars together, and she's like just such a strong, independent woman. She is a mother, and the father of her daughter and her are very close. He's actually remarried, and they live next door to each other, and it's just, everything about it is just heartwarming and sweet, and the daughter is involved, and everything about it was just so cute and adorable. It was just a very light, fun romance, and it was perfect for February, for Valentine's Day. I totally enjoyed this one. So I actually give this one 3.5 stars just because I loved it. It was so fun, but again, it didn't give me like as much of a bubbly, giddy feeling as I was hoping to get from a romance in that moment. It was such a good book though, and it's just so adorable. I feel like it was perfect for me to get into the vibe before Valentine's Day. By the way, the Ruinous Love trilogy about the romantic serial killers, that is written by Bryn Weaver, and First Time Caller is written by B.K. Borison, and both of those were from Book of the Month. Thank you so much, Book of the Month. I just became a BFF with Book of the Month, and I'm feeling so proud. That basically means that I've done a whole year of boxes with them, and I got some swag from it, so that was really exciting and fun. Anyways, let's continue on. Okay, so First Time Caller by B.K. Borison did not satisfy my romance craving. It was amazing, but it left me wanting more. So, who better to go to than my tried and true romance girly, Miss Ashley Poston. I read The Dead Romantics. I can't get over the fact that all of her books look so cute next to each other. The colors are so fun, the covers are amazing, and it's like the perfect size paperback in my opinion. It's just incredible. It's so good. This book was so sweet. It does deal heavily in topics of grief, so if that is something that you don't want to be reading about right now, I totally understand. Definitely don't pick this one up. It was such a beautiful book though, with our FMC's relationship with her family, with our MMC, everything that goes on. towards the end, there is kind of like a false ending where you think something happened and it didn't happen, and Ashley Poston kind of brings it back around. I think that if it ended where it like originally ended, it would have been much deeper and much more like gut-wrenching and like, you know, a little bit heartbreaking but also beautiful. But it did not. It swung back around and some crazy stuff happens. It was definitely shocking, that ending, but I liked it a lot because I love a happy ending. This one definitely has a happy ending. It's such a sweet romance book. If you haven't picked it up and you've read 7 Year Slip or a novel love story, definitely pick this one up. The concept is so interesting. It's called The Dead Romantics, obviously, and there is some ghostly romance going on in this one, so I definitely recommend it. The FMC's family owns a funeral home, which I also think is just like a really interesting tidbit about this book. A lot of this centers around kind of like death and how you feel after death and things like that. It's really interesting, and of course there is the magical realism, which involves a lot of ghosties in this one, but I loved it. I gave this one 4 stars. It's not my favorite Ashley Poston, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was so fun to read. I love the characters, and I love the banter. Her books have great banter as well. The MMCs are always just like so like sweet, and I love them so much. So yes, definitely a fun, excellent read. Okay, then we got on the point of the month where I was only listening to audiobooks. So I'm just gonna run through all of the audiobooks that I listened to, and I'm going to put a picture of the cover right here for you guys so you can see it. So the first one is Verity by Colleen Hoover. This is a thriller. I didn't realize that she had ever written any thrillers. There is a romance subplot. This one is absolutely insane. The twists and turns are crazy. I definitely heavily enjoyed reading it. But I did kind of rate it low because it reminded me a lot of The Only One Left by Riley Sager. If you saw, I actually did a buddy read on that thriller with my mom. I loved that book. I think I also gave it 4.75 stars. I can't remember 100%. Actually, let me just check for you guys. Yes, I gave that one 4.75 stars as well. It reminded me a lot of the situation that happens in that book. It wasn't exactly similar, but it just kind of left me ready for surprises, and it kind of made it less shocking when everything goes down in the end. I did definitely enjoy reading it though. I gave it 3 stars, which honestly I think is kind of a low rating. I probably now would give it 3.5 maybe, but honestly there's 3.5s that I've liked better, so maybe I should just stand my ground on that. But I gave it 3 stars, and I definitely enjoy Colleen Hoover's writing. I know there is some discourse about whether or not people like her. I do like her with everything I've read so far. Like, I read It Ends With Us, It Starts With Us, whatever. Those were good as well. And I did like Verity. I liked her thriller writing. I think that I would definitely want to read more thrillers from her. I don't even know if she has any other ones, but I would definitely like to read those. Then I started listening to The Improbable Meet Cute. So if you don't know what that is, it is a set of, I think, 6 different short stories, all written by popular romance authors, and they're all about an hour long. So I listened to like one a day pretty much for about a week, and I listened to 5 of them, and most of them have very similar ratings. So the first one is by Christina Lauren, which is a author duo, and it's called The Exception to the Rule. The short story is written through emails between people mostly, and it was really cute and sweet. I gave it 3 stars. They're all kind of romantic. I was still riding the high of Valentine's Day at the beginning of March. So yes, I loved that one. It was 3 stars, very cute, very short, very quick, very fun. Then I read The Worst Wingman, which is it's called Worst Wingman Ever. That's the next one by Abby Jimenez, and that was my introduction into her writing. I love Abby Jimenez. I gave this one 3.5 stars. I haven't read any of her other stuff, but I have some of it right here on the shelf waiting. So I think at some point during the spring, I'm definitely going to pick up Part of Your World and Yours Truly, which are her long-form romance books. And so I'm definitely excited to get into her reading. Then I read Rosie and the Dreamboat by Sally Thorne, who is also a very popular romance writer that I have not read anything from. I definitely liked it. It was very corny. All of them were very corny. I gave that one 3 stars as well. Then I went over to our next one, Drop, Cover, and Hold On by Jasmine Guillory. I've never heard of this author, but it was such a cute little story. I did only give it 2 stars because it was very food focused, and I was listening to this while I was working out, and it was literally making me so hungry for pastries, and that kind of ruined the vibes for me. But I really liked her style of writing, and I really did like the MMC a lot. The final one was the 5th one in the Improbable Meet Cute series. I think I have one more, which I just did not read, and that was With Any Luck, and that one was by Ashley Poston. I gave that one 3.5 stars. It was amazing. I love Ashley Poston, duh. Literally will eat up anything that woman puts out. She is my new best friend in my head, so that was fabulous. And then I finally picked up a physical book again at the beginning of this week, and it was Book Lovers by Emily Henry. You guys know how I feel about it. I've been saving her books, and I finally let myself read another one to kind of get out of this like slumpy moment that I've been having. And this one was one of my favorites so far. I love the characters. I love the callbacks to January Andrews. Everything about it. This one gave me very similar vibes to A Novel Love Story, where it just felt like I was there with them in this little bookish town, and it was just so much fun. I thoroughly enjoyed reading this. There will be a vlog next week coming out with all of my, maybe not all of my live reactions, but just kind of my process of reading and how that week went. And this has been the highlight of my week all week. I finished it this morning, and I'm so sad that it's over. But I'm gonna pick up another amazing book, I'm sure. And yes, I love Emily Henry. I love her writing. I'm sure you've heard so much about this book, and it's because you should read it. If you haven't by now, you should read it. So yes, this one was fabulous. Of course, I gave it 5 stars. You know how I am. I gave it 5 stars. It definitely was just so fun and so cute, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I felt so excited to be in that world with those characters. So yes. So those are all of the books that I have read / listened to so far this year. I'm so excited to get back on my grind and pick one off of this shelf to read next. I love reading and I love making these videos, and thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for watching them. Any of you who are still here to the end of this video, thank you for watching. Like always, if you guys have any book recommendations, video suggestions, or anything you want to let me know, leave it in the comment section down below. Please give this video a like and make sure to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!